Good afternoon, racing fans, and welcome in for closing day, the 2020 Grand Circuit season here at the Red Mile. We welcome you in this afternoon if you're joining us on track or across our extensive simulcasting network. We'll go through today's programming notes in a couple of moments. At this time, we'd like to sit it down to our very own Sandy Hadley, who will sing today's national anthem. And once again, good afternoon. Welcome in for a Sunday of racing action here in downtown Lexington, Kentucky at the historic Red Mile Kentucky Futurity Day. It's our closing card of the season. Not much to report in changes in today's 12-race program, but if you do have at your racing programs, we will go through this afternoon's changes. The first race is clear. No changes in the opener. Race 2 clear as well. It does kick off your 50-cent pick 5. There are no changes race 2. There are no changes in that pick 5 sequence. This afternoon's 7th race kicks off the pick 4, $10,000, a guaranteed pool in the pick 4. No changes race 7. Races 8 and 9. The featured events today, the Philly Futurity, Kentucky Futurity, no changes in the 8th or 9th. Looking into this afternoon's 10th race, scratch the 8 Velocity Ruckus. Velocity Ruckus out of race 10. 11th race is clear. Looking into the 12th and final race this afternoon, scratch the 2 Velocity Ian. Take out the 2 Velocity Ian to close out the day. And good afternoon. Welcome aboard here. Closing day at the Red Mile. I'm Gabe Pruitt. That is Dave Brower. And Dave, we've been predicting doom and gloom, I guess, all week in terms of weather. It's not great, but it's not as bad as we expected.
I'll tell you what, Gabe, we are catching a break as it stands right now. The current conditions, we've got temperatures maybe in the low to mid 60s. We've got a wisp of a breeze here, and it's sprinkling. Just a little bit of a drizzle here. We are expecting diminishing rain throughout the afternoon. In fact, we may even get some clearing right around 2 o'clock to get the rest of the card in. The track's not going to be fast. The damage has been done, according to Superintendent Dan Kuhn, but he's got it as good as he can get it. They put some new material on starting at about 10:30, and they have been doing that continuously until we went on the air.
Well, I know they are the best of the best, obviously, so that track going to be just as good as it can be given the conditions. And again, not as bad as we expected. The rain seems to be clearing out, and we wrapped up that Lexington Select Sale last night, the mix sale.
We did. We want to welcome our international viewers today. We've got Scandinavian interest from Sweden and Norway watching the broadcast today, so thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy what promises to be a spectacular 12-race card here, headed by the 128th edition of the Kentucky Futurity. As for the Lexington sale, yes, last night was the last night. It was the mixed portion of the program here, and the top seller of the evening was a trotting filly by the name of Creature of Habit. And I guess you could say she was bought back by the Caldwell's Cane Run Farm and Mitch Skolnick's Bluestone Farm $350,000. Elizabeth tweeted out today that she was happy to get this filly back. She had sold that one as a yearling. Another one out of the Diamond Creek consignment.
Yeah, it's been a big week for the Diamond Creek crew. Of course, first crop it down by the seaside, big part of that success as well, but they've had a great week, as most consigners out there have as well.
It was a spectacular week overall. Nobody knew what to expect going in. We've been speaking to the various breeders throughout the week. We'll take an interview with one more today, Steve Stewart of Hunterton Farm as well. We'll just get his take on it. He sold the sales topper, and we'll ask him about that filly, a trotting filly by Cadena. Her name was out of Walner, out of Mission Brief. So
impeccable pedigree there. Interested to hear about her. And yes, she was a sales topper. $725,000 for that filly out there this week. Great racing action here yesterday afternoon as well.
I'll tell you what, we had some star performers on the afternoon. It was an incredible stretch rally that was delivered by Joe Holloway's Perfect Sting and Dave Miller, who remained unbeaten. I don't know how he got there. When I got to talk to Dave Miller in the winner's circle, he was beaming because he was really proud of his colt. He says, I didn't think I could make up that much ground, but he wanted to win. That was his quote. He wanted to win. He wanted it more. He dug in, and he got there to beat a very unlucky summa cum laude who had raced his eyeballs out 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row, 2 weeks close second-place finishes behind Perfect Sting. That was a tight photo as well with Perfect Sting. I had to really go back to watch the replay to make sure I didn't get out in front of my skis there by calling that one. But a tight photo. He's still perfect, 8 for 8. We love to see him flawless country. She was the fastest. She bounced back. She was just okay at a runner-up finish last week. Much, much better, though, here yesterday. A little tricky in the stretch, though.
Yeah. She took a bad step there in the middle of the stretch. Why? Because Oka Svanstedt told us in the winner's circle afterwards it was the first time he'd popped the earplugs, I guess, on her. So it spooked her a little bit. She came back trotting. She finished that mile in 1:53. That was the fastest of the ISS, the International Stallion Stakes divisions, for the freshman trotting filly. So good day overall.
It was a great day. We've got a huge day, one of the biggest cards of the year in the entire sport today. In fact, they will be highlighted by our signature events day, the Kentucky Filly Futurity, 55th edition of that. Race 8 this afternoon, over $250,000 on the line. 2 in the second tier, huge field of 12. That group going to be headlined, of course, by the Hambletonian champion, Ramona Hill.
It's not often that we get to say we will have the Hambletonian champion squaring off against the Hambletonian Oaks champion in Sorella. And so far, they will start side by side in posts 3 and 4. We look forward to that. You know, it's going to be an excellent, excellent filly Futurity for the 55th edition. And, you know, a couple of wild cards in there, too. Don't ever count out Sister Sledge, who has that nice mid-pack post for Matt Cayley and the Burke Brigade. And next level stuff. I'm anxious to see what Tim Tetrick is going to do with that filly. Her best game is speed. She's got post 2. Will she try to protect against Ramona Hill and Sorella? So a lot to look forward to later on.
And with all that action there with 2 in the second tier, it's going to be a real shootout in this afternoon's Filly Futurity, the Kentucky Futurity as well. But back to the Filly Futurity, our man Hollywood Hayden passed along an interesting note to me earlier. 12 in that field, Dave, at least 9 of those partially homebreds. So a lot of well-bred fillies that many have bred and hung on to that have had some success. So that's a bit interesting today. The Filly Futurity, we've got 12 in the 128th renewal of the Kentucky Futurity as well. Good group here, Dave, and a lot of the horses have ended up with tricky posts that would be headliners in this group.
That's a good way to put it. The morning line favorite is Ready for Money for Nancy Takter and Yannick Gingras here, but he will have to start from post 11. That's in the second tier behind number 1. We know when the track gets a little wet here, sometimes the inside could be just a little bit deep. I asked Yannick about that in a post-race interview yesterday. He didn't seem to be worried. He said as long as we get away, close enough and with the pack, he'll be able to launch a move. We'll see if he can bounce back off that disappointing effort up in Canada.
Yeah, and there are a couple of horses in there that are going to be huge prices that could get the job done. That's a deep group. You take a horse like Beads. He was 30 cents in the dollar there last week. He's going to be a lot larger than that today, but he'll have to navigate a tricky post there from the outside, post 10.
He's got pure speed, though. If he trots on out of there, you know what Brian Sears will try to do. Back of the Neck, I think, is the horse to beat, in my opinion, there. He may even end up as close to being favored. It should be very, very close there at the end. Oka Svanstedt, we have to give full credit to him and his barn. He always has a good Grand Circuit meet here, but he's got 7 of the 12 in the Kentucky Futurity. So, congratulations for that. Maybe his best chance to win it and upset the apple cart could be Gangster Hanover because he had a much improved performance when he got here last week.
He's a horse for the course because he was so good here as a 2-year-old as well, so he seems to really excel over the red clay. Back of the Neck, I think he will be the favorite. I think he's 4-1 there in the morning line, maybe the third choice or so, second choice. But I think at the end of the day, he had such an easy win there last week, so it was a nice acclimatic mile over the track for Back of the Neck. It's going to be a shootout, though. Looking forward to it.
It is, and Amigo Volo, let's show show him a little love. He's going to have big-time speed from the inside post there. Dexter Dunn will be looking to win a Kentucky Futurity. So lots to look forward to today, and not just on the trotting side.
No, we've got a couple divisions of the Tattersaws as well. Party Girl Hill. I know many people would think that Horse of the Year race, Dave, I've heard many say it's a two-horse race with Tall Dark Stranger, Ramona Hill. You know, hold the phone. What's this filly done wrong? She's undefeated. She steps up here with the true test today to tackle the boys.
We've got a long way to go before we have to start thinking about Horse of the Year votes here. But I'll tell you what, she can make a real statement today, Party Girl Hill, tackling the boys in race number 4, that division, continuing her quest for Horse of the Year. If she wins today, it will be her lucky 13th win. And this is what trainer Chris Ryder said about making this decision. He said, this is the time to do it. A chance to stamp herself as the #1 horse in harness racing. He wanted it on the mile track here at the Red Mile. But I'll tell you what, it will not be a cakewalk. You and I both know that. No losing. Captain Midnight, Elver Hanover, they will have something to say about that.
Yes, they will. It is a good group there. She did draw in the opposite division of Tall Dark Stranger and some of the other top colts, but still a very good group. Never an easy thing for Philly to step up and try and tackle the boys.
No, it will not be easy. She does get the inside post, so she's been so perfect and easy to drive for Dexter Dunn. I've looked forward to the test, and I'm glad, you know, they had the guts to take this chance. I mean, if she does win today and beat that group of solid, you know, glamour boy pacers, then, you know, you can make your case to move her to the head of the class, you know, on the Breeders' Crown Hambletonian Society top 10.
It's going to be a stiff test for her today. It's also going to be a very stiff test in the second race to kick off that pick 5 for Tall Dark Stranger. I think that's the deeper of the two Tattersaws divisions here this afternoon. There are a lot of talented 3-year-olds in that spot. Cattle Wash, we just saw him out there warming up. He looked sensational. He was great here last week as well, but that is a good power pack group.
It is. I can't wait to watch that one amongst all the other great races today. Tall Dark Stranger, TDS, as we like to call him. It takes less time to say. A winner here last week, a winner of the Meadowlands Pace, the North America Cup, and the Cane. He continues to do well here. But Catch the Fire, the Adios champion, will have something to say about that after his performance in the Little Brown Jug. You and I both watched Warrawee Vital show up here last week for Robert Fellows and deliver a strong bounce-back effort with the Bluegrass win. And Cattle Wash, what should we expect from that outside post? We know he's got pure speed after equaling the world record.
You know, I know that he was teed up pretty nicely there last time off a perfect trip day, but he was still reaching at the wire. I thought he finished up so nicely. That was visually very impressive. Catch the Fire comes off a little bit of a traffic trouble trip there at the Jug. We know he's got a major chance. And as you said, Warrawee Vital, that was a sensational mile. He went here last week. He was shuffled completely out of it. That was a good group when he finally shook loose to get up the inside to collar that crew late.
I actually think Tim Tetrick will be more confident in him today based on the performance from last week. So lots of multiple moves to be made in that particular division, and we'll see if TDS can maintain his position at the top of the 3-year-old leaderboard.
All right, and we might as well take a look at the entire card today, Dave, as we get set to kick off closing day here at the Red Mile. We're happy to have you with us. We kick things off in a fine fashion, Dave. It's the Tattersaws for the 3-year-old pacing fillies. Glenn Garnsey Memorial to kick off the program, and I love a horse to kick it off here. 3 Lions Sentinel just impressed me so much. She came from a very difficult spot there last time. No, she could not catch Party Girl Hill, but no shame there. She was home 25 and change. I really, really like the way she finished in that mile, and I really like her a lot here to kick off the day.
She did. I mean, she has been unable to escape Party Girl Hill. You've got 2 strong opinions in the early doubles, so we know how your betting day is going to be right off the bat there. She should win this race. I mean, Tim Tetrick will be aggressive with her, and you got to give her the class edge on the field. She's a millionaire. Nobody else can say that. She was the 2-year-old Dan Patch champion. Again, a couple of horses for the courses. They have the inside spots. Marlowe Hanover, who won here last year. Annabelle Hanover as well. Hen Party looking to bounce back. And probably, maybe the pace setter could be Dave Miller with Baby You're the Best.
Yeah, it could be, and that filly has done nothing wrong of late as well. She was a good, solid runner-up here last week in Bluegrass action. That is a good group. That's why I think Lion Sentinel is not going to be any type of really short price to kick it off, because you've got a lot of depth and talent there. Reflect with me bounced back with a much better effort last week as well. Second race, first division of the Tattersaws for the 3-year-old pacing colts, 239,000 and change on the line. Dave, it's not going to be easy. At the end of the day, I landed on the 5 Tall Dark Stranger, but this is a true test here this afternoon.
Yeah, you think he's vulnerable in a spot like this. I will say one thing, it will not be due to the track condition, because we know he loves the sloppy kind of a surface. It's not really all that sloppy. They've got so much material on it. It's just a little sticky at the moment. You know, I think he's the horse to beat, and he will get my vote until dethroned. I'm looking forward to a bounce-back effort from Catch the Fire, because we know he loves this track too. He battled gamely up there in Delaware in the Little Brown Jug here, but I like the inside post, and I think Mike Wilder will be aggressive again.
Yes, I believe so as well. Warwick Vital off the inside there is going to be tough as well. And it's difficult. If Tall Dark Stranger did go down, it's almost difficult to know exactly who's going to beat him, because you would have to think it's going to be a horse that maybe trips out. We'll see how much pressure Tall Dark Stranger has to take there in race 2. He is clearly the horse to beat, though, like you said, until he is dethroned. Second division of that tatter sauce for the 3-year-old pacing fillies will come up in this afternoon's third race. How'd you see this shaking out?
I'll tell you what, good race here. You know, with these sophomore pacing fillies, I've been a fan of Rocknificent. She's been so consistent all season for her Hall of Fame trainer, Linda Toscano. Better post today. I think that's going to make a big difference with driver Scott Zeron. Although, if you like New Year in here or Peaky Sneaky, I certainly would not talk you off.
Peaky Sneaky, a well-rated winner there last week. Back half just vicious and 53 to 5th. But I'm on New Year. Chris Ryder's filly here. She's from that world champion mare that I used to love. They've dropped the ball. I love Drop the Ball. She's actually a namesake of one of her later races today. New Year, she was used so hard there last time. She left the gate. Then she was on the attack, but she still raced so well in a runner-up finish. I thought that was just a good effort. I'm going to look for her to bounce back. But that's a good group of pacing fillies there. You go several different directions in this afternoon's third race. Fourth race, well, it's the other division of the tatter saws for the 3-year-old pacers. Can't say 3-year-old colt pacers, because we've got the filly Party Girl here. What do you make of her chances
today?
Well,
I'll tell you what. Let me give you a little stat. Came from Ken Weingartner at ustrotting.com. Party Girl Hill will try to become just the second female in the last 30 years to beat the boys in a race worth more than $100,000. See You at Peelers won the 2011 Art Rooney. So she's got a little history working against her, but you and I, you know, I've been harping on her. You've heard me talk about her from the very first day she stepped on the Meadowlands surface and qualified here. The rail, you think that's a tricky spot for her?
Well, she's been so good. I'm just not sure it makes any difference. But I like the fact the connections are looking to step her up there, get the respect that she most certainly deserves as she looks to keep that undefeated streak intact. She's not in by herself, though, Dave. I used the 3 Captain Midnight underneath. He was a good second there. He was under aggressive handling here last week as well.
He was, and it could happen again. Andy McCarthy aboard for the Alanya Armada. But one of the most improved horses all throughout this sophomore stakes season has been No Lose Zing. Full credit to Nancy Tactor and her team, Joe Zert Fonseca and everybody else. He is now a legitimate stakes player and stakes winner. He started the season, I think, in non-winners of 2, and he made a break that night. But,
yeah,
you know,
and he's been a little bit of a difficult horse to drive, I think, throughout the course of the season. So, yeah, they did a nice job managing him. He ripped off 3 consecutive stakes victories into today. So he arrives in town razor sharp. In fact, he's yet to miss the board all season. Dave, as a sophomore, he's been on the board 10 of 10. He will obviously be a main contender there in race 4 as well. On to the 5th race. It's the All Raj Open pace. The odds on racing All Raj Open. Who do you like here? This race, you could really use anyone, in my mind.
The free-for-allers have been going at it all year, trading blows. So you could make a case for any one of about 4 or 5 here. Combined earnings of this 10-horse field, Gabe, just shy of $12 million out on the racetrack. Was won the last couple of years by McWicked, and what a great champion he was. So let's see how it goes today. You know, bettor's wish. Bounced back huge in the Dayton Derby. In his last start, he did have things set up nicely for him. He has an outer post, you know, and so does Dancin' Lou, who likes to, you know, show some speed as well. You've got the Burke Brigade in action with Filibuster Hanover and a couple of the others, Backstreet Shadow. I know Dave Miller is confident in Century Pharaoh. You might even get a little value there. He's had some trouble trips and no luck for quite some time.
Yeah, he got picked off there behind the 3-year-old there at the Dayton Pacing Derby. Ocean Rock was in front of him, but he got picked off slightly. Still had pace when he slipped through late.
He did. And I think, well, you know, Dave Miller is kind of tired of the tough trips. He doesn't want to get blamed for another one, so he will be aggressive with Century Pharaoh. And we will see if it works out in that Alaraj open pace for $150,000.
Yeah, any of those horses get teed up there with the right trip under the right conditions, I think you could see really an upset or so in the 5th race. We'll see how it shakes out. We've got All Raj Open Trotters going in the 6th race. Dave, of course, the headliners here, Atlanta and Chimpanzee.
You know, these two have been battling it out all season here. I think Chimpanzee has the edge today. I could be wrong. Atlanta with such an explosive finish up at Dayton. Atlanta, at this stage of her career, she wants to just stalk and finish. I don't think she wants any part of the lead if possible. Brian Sears might take advantage of that with Chimpanzee and try to steal it.
Well, it was a great matchup there at Hoosier Park in that Caesars Trotting Classic as well. Atlanta actually took over turning promo. I thought she was home free there until the very deep stretch. Chimpanzee ended up rallying past her late with that ultra-long stretch there at Hoosier Park. But those two should be a great matchup at a good field overall there in race 6. 7th race, it is their final pick 4 of the season. $10,000 the guaranteed pool there this afternoon, 15% takeout. A reminder, it's closing day. So, Dave, as we know, everything must go in these pools, mandatory payouts all day long.
Yeah, don't get shut out, and what a good sequence it is to test the handicappers, including both the Philly Futurity and the Futurity. This one looks like a match race on paper, and I may even be wrong about that. Spoiled Princess, who was recently purchased by Nancy Tactor and her connections off of OnGate.com. I think this tag was 90 grand and maybe some change. She raced tremendously with added Lasix in the Bluegrass last week here, but the star performer is a filly that's 8 for 8 this year, and we finally get to talk about Pete and Melanie Wren. You saw that race from Guinevere Hall up at Delaware, and yes, it is as good as it looks.
Yes, it was. She actually raced with us one time here in Lexington as well against the Commonwealth filly, so just a notch below the top-level sire stakes. It's a true test for her today. I know she hasn't done anything wrong, Dave. She's 8 for 8, but she's taken on mainly the Ohio Sire Stakes company, so she steps up to tackle Grand Circuit-type foes, even though it's just an overnight event here, but still a good group of open-bred fillies in the 7th race this afternoon. Spoiled Princess, I couldn't have been any more impressed. That was she was in that 3-way photo. She just kept surging up the inside there to just miss in that debut for the new barn.
Yeah, that was a 4-horse photo that nobody could call, including you, and I wrote down the wrong number because I thought Spoiled Princess got there.
I thought so as well.
When we finally got a peek at the official photo finish, it was
very tight.
A millimeter.
Yeah, you're not going to see any photos tighter than that. That would not be a dead heat. On to the 8th race this afternoon. That's the Philly Futurity as we look to speed through the final races here on the card. Ramona Hill, maybe just not quite on top of her game last week. What'd you make of that?
She did scope sick, according to her trainer, Tony Alagna. Andy McCarthy told me on the way back, he says, don't worry, we'll get him next week. I'm going to listen to him. I
agree as well. It's just hard to go against her. She's going to have to show it to me one more time because I think if they have her dialed in, she's clearly the best. We look forward to seeing her. Kentucky Futurity, I think we're in agreement here as well, Dave. Back of the deck, couldn't have been any more impressive here last week.
When I got to talk to Scott Zeron after the race, I said, is he as good now as he was going into the Hambletonian? And you know what his answer was? He's better. That's good enough for me.
Well, I agree. Yeah, he has that post edge over a lot of the main rivals there in today's signature event as well. 10th race, take out the 8. It kicks off the late pick 3. No quarter. Seems to be well spotted here against Overnight Company.
Big low price there. I'm going for the stablemate. Number 1, McFreely, Brian Brown, a little bit of an upset price. I don't usually do this. I don't usually, miss the wedding and then potentially go to the loss. The price will be shorter. Andy Miller will take over the driving assignment there for the Brown stable.
Yeah, and Dave Miller, that's what threw me a curveball. Dave Miller, I assume, would have had his choice between those two Brian Brown tradies. He ends up on no quarter, so we'll see. McFreely certainly hasn't done anything wrong of late. He has some talent, some speed, and a nice post today as well. 11th race, the All-Raj Open Mares event. Dave, the 5 Kiss Into the Sand, the one to beat. She got teed up with the perfect trip, though, there in Dayton. Sometimes I like to take a shot against those perfect trip winners.
I don't blame you, but there's no sharper mare in the country right now than Kissin' in the Sand. Nancy Tactor, one of her favorites, just has her so good. The question for me, of course, is Caviart Alley. This is the place where she started her late season run last year when she was able to finally get by Charton. It was an epic battle. So she will try to defend her title in this Al-Araj Filly and Mare Open here. Brett Pelling told me the other day, that's the plan. We hope she, blossoms here again and finishes out the season.
Yeah, I'm going to look for her to turn the tables there as well. Hopefully a little better trip here today. And, of course, she does like this track. As you said, the 12th race is the drop the ball to close out the season here in Lexington. Dave, I don't usually make it a practice to take a 2-year-old filly against older and male rivals, but I am doing so here. We've got a barn change there to the inside. Paul does bet Hanover. Comes out to some major stakes action here. Debuts for the Burke Brigade.
It's a huge drop. It's an inside post. Again, she doesn't show a whole lot of early speed, so the pole could be a little bit of a tricky spot, but we're going to put our faith in Yannick Gingras. He should get her home.
All right, that's a look. We're happy to have you here on closing day at the Red Mile. We're happy to have you with us all season long. We wish you the best of luck here this afternoon. Horses will be on the track shortly for the opener. Enjoy today's racing action.
Wherever harness racing's most important stakes races are held, from the East to the Midwest to Lexington to Ontario, you'll likely see a racehorse bred by Brittany Farms in the winner's circle. Brittany's focus on quality over quantity has made the farm not one of the largest breeders, just the best, everywhere.
By French superstar stallion Love You, out of the greatest trotting mare of all time, Moneymaker. International Money bred foal books in both of his initial seasons. His foals are uniformly good size with good length, good bone, and conformation. It's very easy to see the much sought-after European influence of Love You in these foals. Follow up on these impressive crops with a booking to the ultimate Euro-American stallion, International Money, standing at Hanover Shoe Farms.
Three-year-old pacing fillies on the track for the Sunday opener. It's the Tattersall's Glen Garnsey Memorial, sponsored by the Sweet Lou Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farms. The Bardo changes. What is Marlo Hanover? Nifty Norman trains. Joe Bongiorno in the bike for the Let It Ride stables. Number 2 is Annabelle Hanover. Jeff Cutler trains. He co-owns with Tom Pollock's Pollock Racing LLC. Andy Miller. 3 Lions Sentinel. Jim King Jr. trains. Tim Tetrick at the bike for 3 Lions Racing. Number 4 is Hen Party. Tony Adanya trains. Dexter Dutta for Crawford Farms Racing. Baby, You're the Best. That's the 5. Linda Toscato trains. Dave Miller drives for Richard and Joanne Young. Number 6, Reflect With Me. Tony Adanya trains. Andy McCarthy in the bike for the Brittany Farms and Brad Grant. In the 7 is J.K. First Lady. Nancy Tactor trains. Janik Jingra drives for the Three Brothers Stables. That is your field for the opener. There are no changes in races 1 or 2.
We are ready to get the stakes action underway on Kentucky Futurity Day here at the historic Red Mile in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Just want to thank everybody for being part of the program and joining us this afternoon, especially our international visitors. Lots of viewers in Sweden and Norway ready to enjoy the trotting action going forward. Gabe Pruitt, Dave Brower with you for a little pre-race analysis after the post-parade, and thanks to the Diamond Creek Farm and the good folks behind Always Be Mickey for sponsoring that for us. The Glen Garnsey Memorial, Gabe, the Tattersall's division for the sophomore pacing fillies, was captured last year by the great Warrawee Butte, who we will see on the card a little bit later on this afternoon. She negotiated the oval here in 1:48.3. I just don't think they're going to be able to go that fast today.
No, unfortunately, the track has come up off with the conditions, but not nearly as bad as we thought. We thought we'd be battling heavy rains throughout the entire day. The rains are really leaving the area. It seems to be, at this point, it is breezy here today, so we'll see what type of action we get, but much better than anticipated, so I'm very pleased as it has worked out.
Lion Sentinel on your screen right now. Don't be worried about that little skippy dip, if you want to call it that. She's done that before, so she will go to the gate, and she will be all business. She finally gets to escape the presence of Party Girl Hill, as does number 1 Marlo Hanover. But Lion Sentinel, you and I both think she is the horse to beat, and so do the fans right now, pounding her down to even money.
You know, I actually thought she'd be a little better price than that in here, David. It doesn't shock me that she's the favorite, but I thought the betting maybe spread out a bit more. I thought she'd be at least 2-1. I'm hoping that price will drift up. She finished up visually just so impressive last time out. home 25 and change. Where she came from, just no chance of ever catching Party Girl Hill from there. But I thought it was a nice, sort of easy race for Lion Sentinel. She rallied and really just paced to that last quarter so quick. So I think maybe a more aggressive handling here today. It is a deep group, though. This is a good field. So 4 to 5, even though she is my top choice, that, in my mind, a bit of an underlay here on the 3 Lion Sentinel.
Your pick to complete the exacta is the 6, Reflect With Me, who had a good long winning streak throughout the middle of the summer, snapped in her last couple of starts. The Kentucky Sire Stakes final, where she was 1 to 9. She did finish second with a tough trip. And then she finished well again last week with no chance to catch. She came home in 25 and change, Gabe.
Yeah, the Sire Stakes final, I just didn't think she was maybe right at herself, Dave. She was, obviously a runner-up there to define Baby You're the Best, who's a very talented filly in her own right. Last week, I thought she raced extremely well. I don't think she's getting near the respect that she deserves. She was back to herself in my mind. They just came a back half 53-1. There's just nothing she could do there. Typically a dedicated closer, but she came home just as fast as she possibly could have, 25 and change. So in my mind right now, the value lies with the 6, Reflect With Me. She was back to herself here last week.
I'm getting some pretty good value on my second selection, and she is on your screen right now. That is Hen Party, the New York Sire Stakes champion for the Crawford Farms and the Alanya Armada. She did some of the dirty work last week. I want a better and softer trip today.
Yeah, I think so. I think Hen Party has a big shot to rebound here. Of course, that New York circuit produces some very good horses. We know that year in and year out. Hen Party, just another one of those. She loves to win, 10 of 28 in her career. She came first up there into that back half I just mentioned, 53-1. So obviously that's going to take its toll. She did give it up a bit late, as you may have expected. But I'm like you, a smoother trip here I think gives her a much better result, and you are getting a much better price as well, right now double digits.
How about the price on number 1, Marlowe Hanover? Again, she and Annabelle Hanover both won here last year for Nifty Norman. Since then, Annabelle Hanover has been sold recently, so she now races out of the Colorful Crew with Tom Pollock. But I think Marlowe Hanover will be blasting and protecting for Joe Bongiorno.
She's going to be sitting close. There's no question about that. She sat there with a nice trip last time as well. Obviously just could not keep up with the killer late Party Girl Hill. But a good effort for the top spot, maybe just a notch below the very top fillies in the country, at least this season in my mind. So I would maybe consider underneath in terms of the exotics.
And I can ask you about one more before we get the stakes action underway. She's got to do it from the outside post, J.K. First Lady, but she rides a 2-race win streak into this, including that potent rally last week in the Bluegrass.
Yeah, she found a way to reach up there and get it done as a 50-cent favorite, and she comes back here at a much improved price. The post not easy today, but Yadek typically always in the right spot at the right time. I'm sure he'll find a way to work out a good trip for her. She is razor sharp right now. 4 out of her last 5, Dave. Her only loss over that streak to Party Girl Hill. You must respect her resume as well.
Absolutely. Hey, this is a great way to kick off the Futurity Day card. Fillies of the 3-year-old variety, the Pacers in the Tattersalls. This is the Glenn Garnsey Memorial for over $112,000.
Green Foundation starting gate has moved into position. It's post time. The opener. Starter call. It's the Glenn Garnsey Memorial. We look forward to hosting each and every fall here in Lexington. Glenn Garnsey. We honor his memory, member of the Harness Racing Hall of Fame. Of course, attached to many great horses, Abercrombie, Fan Hanover, and all the rest. It's the Glenn Garnsey Memorial, sponsored by the Sweet Lou Syndicate. Sweet Lou sire, both 3-year-old Breeders' Crown champions last season. The Great White Blaze, triple billionaire. sponsor of this afternoon's first race. Field of 7 for the Tattersalls Glen Garnsey Memorial. They are on gate. And they're off and pacing. Baby, you're the best. Goes sprinting out from the sitter, Marlowe ahead of her. Protects her inside position. As they roll into the Tattersalls turn, it's Marlowe ahead of her. Who's out quickly there for Bongiorno. Line Sentinel still floating wide for Teetring. With Annabelle ahead of her to her inside. 3 wide there, Reflect With Me. Looking to mix it up at the early stages. And it is Reflect With Me and McCarthy. She's under aggressive handling and she zips to the top past Line Sentinel. Marlowe ahead of her now back to a third. Annabelle ahead of her is fourth, a quarter up 28-2. Baby, you're the best. Following in the 5th spot. Hen Party is next. And from the back, JK First Lady is already underway as they make their way across the backstretch. Reflect With Me, the third choice here, 3-1. She controls the tempo up top. Line Sentinel, the favorite. Content to track at this point, second. Marlowe ahead of her. Holding down the third spot is Baby, You're the Best. Advances up uncovered to the outside of fourth. JK First Lady. Tracks that move up fifth past Annabelle ahead of her. And swinging wide from the back, there goes Hen Party. She's 7 lengths off the lead. As the fillies work their way out of the far turn, the half is up in 56-3. Reflect With Me, still the target with 3/8 to pace. It's been a nice trip in behind for Lion Sentinel, and she is anxious there. She now moves out in tight traffic. So they swarm it on Reflect With Me, and it's Lion Sentinel who's up and out of the pocket. Baby, You're the Best. Force 3 wide. JK First Lady is up 4 wide as they roll past 3/4 in 1:23-4. Reflect With Me tries to counter that at the inside, but it's Lion Sentinel who's taken over the lead. JK First Lady rolls down the center far outside. That's Hen Party, but at mid-stretch, Lion Sentinel looks to sprint clear. JK First Lady giving chase in the second spot. Hen Party's up at the far outside, but it's Lion Sentinel to win. Lion Sentinel scores here from JK First Lady. Hen Party third. Marlowe ahead of her fourth in 1:49-2. Judges have lit the inquiry sign in the first race, taking a look at the action. Approaching the 3/4 mark. Again, hold all tickets. Judges have lit the inquiry. The inquiry concerns the action approaching the 3/4 mark. The inquiry concerns your unofficial first place finisher here, 3 Lion Sentinel. Hold on tickets. Concerns the action and nearing the 3/4 mark at the top of the stretch. Hold on tickets in the opener. We await the results of the inquiry, and the inquiry focuses on the filly that was unofficially first here, Lion Sentinel. Hold on tickets in the opener. Fancy inquiry shot has been removed. There will be no change. The 6 Reflect With Me, who made the brief break, interfered with the 3 and 5, so that was the reason for the interference there. So the 3 Lion Sentinel returns trackside here. She is the winner of the first division of the Tattersalls Glen Garnsey Memorial. Jim King Jr., the treader for 3 Lions Racing, Brantford, Ontario, Canada. Tim Tetrick was in the bike for the winning effort today. Lion Sentinel, 3-year-old daughter of Captain Treacherous from the Western Ideal mare Tutu Hanover, bred by the Hanover Shoe Farms, Pennsylvania. Her second win of the season, 11th overall for the millionaire filly Lion Sentinel, 149-2. She equals her career best here today. Greeting the Winning Connections trackside to make the trophy presentation, Adam Batten on behalf of the Sweet Lou Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farms. Diamond Creek Farm, the sponsor of our winner's circle here during the Grand Circuit at Lexington. First race results are official. Prices are up. Lion Sentinel off as the 6-5 choice. She returns 440, 240, and 220. Second of the 7, JK First Lady, 260, 210. Third of the 4, Hen Party, 440. Your exacta was $9.60. The $1 trifecta, $27.90. 20-cent superfecta, $25.94. Official rundown not available yet. We'll pass that along as soon as we have it. Second race up next. It is the first division of the Tattersalls 3-year-old open pace. The Crawford Farms Tattersalls pace sponsored by Michelle Dow Crawford. Kicks off the 50-cent pick 5. No changes in that pick 5 sequence. Post time for the second race is in 10 minutes. Billionaire, sponsor of this afternoon's first race. Field of 7 for the Tattersalls Glen Garnsey Memorial. They are on gate. And they're off and pacing. Baby, you're the best. Goes spurting out from the sitter, Marlowe Hediver. Protects her inside position as they roll into the Tattersalls turn. It's Marlowe Hediver, who's out quickly there for Bonjordo. Lion Sentinel still floating wide for Tetrick, with Annabelle Hediver to her inside. 3 wide there, Reflect With Me. Looking to mix it up at the early stages, and it is Reflect With Me and McCarthy. She's under aggressive handling, and she zips to the top past Lion Sentinel. Marlowe Hediver now back to a third. Annabelle Hediver is fourth, the quarter up 28-2. Baby, you're the best. Following in the 5th spot, Hen Party is next. And from the back, JK First Lady is already underway as they make their way across the back stretch. Reflect With Me, the third choice here, 3-1. She controls the tempo up top. Lion Sentinel, the favorite. Content to a track at this point, second. Marlowe Hediver holding down the third spot is Baby, You're the Best. Advances up uncovered to the outside of 4th, JK First Lady. Tracks that move up 5th past Annabelle Hediver. And swinging wide from the back, there goes Hen Party. She's 7 lengths off the lead. As the fillies work their way out of the far turn, the half is up in 56-3. Reflect With Me, still the target with 3/8 to pace. It's been a nice trip in behind for Lion Sentinel, and she is anxious there. She now moves out in tight traffic. So they swarm it on Reflect With Me, and it's Lion Sentinel who's up and out of the pocket. Baby, You're the Best, force 3 wide. JK First Lady is up 4 wide as they roll past 3/4 in 1:23.4. Reflect with Me tries to counter that at the inside, but it's Lion Sentinel who's taken over the lead. JK First Lady rolls down the center, far outside. That's Hen Party, but at mid-stretch, Lion Sentinel looks to sprint clear. JK First Lady giving chase in the second spot. Hen Party's up at the far outside, but it's Lion Sentinel to win. Lion Sentinel.
Allarage Farms for more than 2 decades. Allarage Farms has been a leading breeder of stakes-winning trotters with prestige settings in New York and Pennsylvania. Allarage Farms is the home to champion broodmares producing millionaires like Fern, Muscles Marinara, Dewey Color in the Line, and Whiskey Tax. Stars like Barndall, Jezzy, an opulent Yankee, and $480,000 sales topper Beautiful Sin. Yearlings offered at the sport's major auctions. Allarage Farms, a trendsetter in modern trotting. For more info, log on to allaragefarm.com.
Our passion and our promise to breed the best and sell the best so you can race the best. Crawford Farms, home to this year's 2020 Hamiltonian Filly champion Ramona Hill.
Andrew McCarthy finds today Ramona Hill takes the Hamiltonian.
And over 100 more stakes-winning broodmares, racehorses, and retirees. They call it the sport of kings. We call it the love of champions. From our farm to the winner's circle, share our passion. Crawford Farms.
Bow River, the leading designer of unique equestrian jewelry, presents their 2020 collection. Come view our collection under the grandstand at the Red Mile Racetrack during Grand Circuit Meet or in the foyer of the restaurant at Fazig-Tipton throughout the sale. Ask us about creating a custom design for yourself. We pride ourselves on superior craftsmanship that is unsurpassed by no one. Bow River Jewelry, quality you can trust.
Dale Volente Farms, one of North America's premium breeding facilities. Their stallion lineup features Hambletonian champion Trixton, global pacing sensation Lazarus, and 3-time world record holder and Kentucky Futurity champion Six Pack.
In the Kentucky Futurity, he will win it 149-1, a world record for Six Pack.
Dale Volente Farms' outstanding broodmare portfolio includes 2-time pacing filly of the year, Worldly Beauty, multi-millionaire Rocklamation Dam of 2019 Pennsylvania Sire Stakes winner, Rocknificent.
Through, it's Rocklamation getting up. Rocklamation, a hat trick for Gingras.
And Breeders' Crown champion, Brigham Dream Dam of 2019 Swedish Sprint champion, Taekwon Deo. Deo Volente Farms Premium Breeding Farm and Syndicate Management in Flemington, New Jersey.
3-year-olds on the track. It's the Crawford Farms Tattersall's Pace First Division. Purse over $239,000. Sponsored by Alda Michelle Crawford. Kicks off today's 50-cent pick 5, a mandatory payout in the pick 5 here on closing day. What is Whirlwind Vital? Robert Fellows trains. Tim Tetrick drives for Blair Corbeil. Yolanda Fellows and Ibanez Racing Stable Incorporated. 2 is Catch the Fire. John Ackley trains. Mike Wilder drives for the CT Stables LLC. 3 is Fortify. Nancy Tactor trains. Dexter Dunn wearing the colors of Diamond Creek Racing. 4, Money Man Hill. Carbonacciello trains. Eddie McCarthy in the bike for Fox Racing. Percy Elkins and Aaron Waxman. 5 is Tall Dark Stranger. Nancy Tactor trains. Got a Jingra aboard for Crawford Farms Racing. Marvin Katz, Caviar Farms and Howard Taylor. 6, Seriously Hanover. Gary Campbell trains for Michael Samaglio, Stephen Demeter, and Stephen Giagni. Andy Miller. 7 is Captain Kirk. Tony Gabagna trains. Joe Bongiorno drives for the Brittany Farms. Marvin Katz, Brad Grant, and Captain Kirk Racing. 8 is the Greek Freak. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Piat Racing. Jerry and Teresa Silva. Pernell Libby, Weaver Buscemi with Matt Kakali. Ed Bernardis, Cattle Wash. Ron Burke trains for Bill Donovan. Dave Miller is at the lines. At your field for the second race. Kicks off closing day. 50-cent pick 5. Low takeout, just 15%. No changes in the pick 5 sequence. And it's a mandatory payout here today. Pick 5 pool already well over 11,000 and climbing. Going to be a huge pool in today's 50-cent pick 5.
And what a good race to kick it off, Gabe. The Tattersall's division here. The Crawford Farms for the Glamour Boy Pacing Colts and Geldings. They're going to go for a purse of just shy of $240,000. The divisions last year won by Danson Lou and Better's Wish in 149-4. Let's go right to the favorite here and begin our discussion with him. That's number 5, Tall Dark Stranger, who I will refer to as TDS in the rest of the commentary. He became the first ever horse to win the Metro, Breeders' Crown, and North America Cup. So congratulations to Nancy Tactor and her team. Nancy, only the second trainer in history to win the North America Cup in back-to-back years. Of course, she did it the prior season with Captain Crunch. She equaled Bill Robinson's record. You, Gabe, though, you think Tall Dark Stranger just might be a little bit vulnerable today. Go ahead and make your case.
Well, I did select him on top, Dave. I think, as you said earlier, until he is dethroned, he is clearly the horse to beat, and he is a street fighter. He knows where the wire is, and he knows how to win in a battle. So I don't think you can ever discount the Tall Dark Stranger. However, we are in the business of wagering, so at 3 to 5, it's just a very deep group. Again, there's several horses here I think that do get a good look. The Dine Cattle Wash could not have been more impressive, both in Delaware. In both of those jug heats, it's impossible really to do what he did from those posts. And then here last week, yes, he did get a nice trip. He got teed up perfectly, but he was really finishing in a flurry, Dave, reaching out at the end there, still 46-4. I thought that was visually very impressive. And we've got a bit of a wise guy horse here to the inside. Whirlwind Vital, he took a ton of action in his first jug heat there. Of course, he missed the final, so he took a ton of play there, got off 6 to 5 in that spot. And then back here, he added Lasix last week, took a bad shuffle, got up to win it, and the fans right back on him here today as well, 9 to 5. Did you see that coming?
I did. I'm not surprised at all because we know there are a lot of Tim Tetrick fans who do the betting out there, and it was good to see this Bob Fellows trainee bounce back because they had gone to the Little Brown Jug. I think it was his first jug, the same as co-owner Blair Corbeil, who called it a bucket list kind of a thing. Listen, they just didn't have a very good day, so to see him bounce back a couple of weeks later was really awesome. And I think he will certainly make Tall Dark Stranger work. We'll just have to figure out at which point in the race he will make him work because last week you and I both saw, 27 flat speed out of the gate.
Yes, the thing here is whoever makes Tall Dark Stranger work, if that is indeed the case today, I'm not so sure that isn't a kamikaze mission, so I don't really like their chances. But what it could do, Dave, if they do pressure Tall Dark Stranger, it could tee someone else up. So the question becomes, who is going to benefit here from a good trip, at least in my mind, in race 2?
Well, how about number 2, the Adios champion, Catch the Fire for Team Ackley? Can you believe that he's up there at 20 to 1 right now with Mike Wilder driving?
No, not at all. This horse was off at even money in the final of the Little Brown Jug, and really just a victim of circumstances. in that race, Dave. He got shuffled there and pinned in when Sand Between Your Toes has started to stop a bit. Still rallied to be third. He was very good, of course, in the first heat of the jug. He's been very good here in Lexington. I go back to that Sire Stakes start that was on a track well off. We mentioned that the off-track won't bother Tall Dark Stranger. Well, he's won right here in Kentucky Sire Stakes action when the track was off. And Catch the Fire rallied very nicely that day, adding Lasix. He stormed home there 26-2. Very good runner-up finish. So I think Catch the Fire is up there at a major overlay. I'm shocked he's being overlooked to that degree here. I know it's a deep field, and not all of these horses can take a tremendous amount of action, but that's a huge overlay on a very talented colt.
Another talented colt that recently changed barns is the 3 Fortify, and we saw driver Dexter Dunn and Fortify getting a little equipment adjustment. Maybe the earplugs popped free, and we have to put them back on, so they'll put the bike back on him. Since he's moved into the Tactor barn, the Diamond Creek homebred Gabe has not missed the board.
No, he's been very good, including a very narrow defeat to Tall Dark Stranger. They're 2 starts back at his second try for the new barn. So he knows what it's like to be at a street fight here with his stablemate, the big favorite. Fortify's been knocking out the door. He's been racing very well. And he's proven, Dave, that he can go with these top-shelf stakes colts.
Let me ask you about one more. He just left the screen. That is number 7, Captain Kirk, who in the Bluegrass world record equaling performance set the pace. It was a pretty hot one. He was no match for Cattle Wash with that trip, but will he be part of the pace scenario?
Well, he teed up Cattle Wash. I think Joe just took his shot there that day in the bike. He thought likely was at a good spot there, but the fractions just got maybe a little away from him, 53 and change. But, you know, he did not stop, Dave. He held really well. It was just, I think, a matter of the Cattle Wash raced extremely well. Captain Kirk, I don't take anything away from him. I still thought that was a very good runner-up finish. After those fractions, you have every excuse in the world to stop. He did not. So I think Captain Kirk's certainly a horse that could be used in terms of the exotics here. He's up there nearly 40-1. Just shows you how deep this group is in the first division of the Crawford Farms Tattersalls.
Speaking of exotics, the pick 5 does start here. You see the pool about to go over the $16,000 mark. We've had good pools here over the course of the 2 weeks of the Grand Circuit, so we're going to wish everybody lots of good luck. The Glamour Boy Pacers and the Crawford Farms Tattersalls next.
Yes, it is going to be a good one day. That pick 5 pool likely going to reach up maybe upwards of 30,000 or so. So get involved here at the pick 5. We do want to remind people on track today, we do have some open tables over in the clubhouse. So if you'd like to go over and grab a table, you may do so. We've had some canceled reservations. So go over and see Chef Jeff and his crew at the clubhouse. Great food, great dining, and a great place to sit on a breezy day here in Lexington. Check them out, getting some open tables over in our clubhouse. Make this your final boarding call for the 50-cent pick 5. The Dream Foundation starting gate. Moving into position. It's post time for the 50-cent pick 5. Last chance here. Mandatory payout in closing day. The pick 5, last chance to get a bid. Starter call. First division of the Crawford Farms Tattersalls Pace, sponsored by Michelle Dow Crawford. Big year for the Crawford Farms as usual. Breeders of the Hamiltonian champion Roberta Hill. Co-owners as well. Co-owners of the favorite right here, Tall Dark Stranger. Second race kicks off 50-cent Pick 5. First division of the Tattersalls. Over 239,000 on the line. They are on gate. And they are off. Catawash came out swinging from the far outside. Were we vital? Scoots on through net at the cones, but it's Catawash who will quickly clear right to the top as they work their way to the opening turn. Were we vital is there in second. Catch the fire out third. Tall Dark Stranger is advancing up here in the early stages as they're midway around the opening turn. 4 to 5, giving chase at a fifth. Captain Kirk is next sixth. He's too clear of Muddy Mad Hill. Seriously Hanover is at the back with the Greek Freak. They sprint past the opening quarter, 27-1. Tall Dark Stranger has taken up the top from Catawash. So it is the favorite, Tall Dark Stranger, who shows the way across the backstretch. Catawash is in tight pursuit second. Were we vital? The second choice. He's third, currently 3 lengths off the top. Catch the fire, still patient at this point for Wilder fourth. He tracks the top trio in front of 4 to 5. Captain Kirk still sixth there with Muddy Bed Hill opting to sit in seventh. Seriously Hanover's underway to the outside. The Greek Freak still last. The pass a half in 54-1. Tall Dark Stranger maintains that lead out of the far turn. It's a perfect trip for Catawash with 3/8 to go. He's still second. Were we vital? Well, now angle wide from a third for Tetrick. Catch the fire is pinned out at the pylons. He's fourth. It's 4 to 5. Tracks up second over cover fifth, but he's 5 lengths off his stablemate right now. It's Tall Dark Stranger tries to get some separation. He's 2 on top as they race to the top of the stretch and past 3/4, 121-1. They turn for home with the first division of the Tattersalls. Tall Dark Stranger maintains a short lead with War We Vital inching in down the center of the track. Catawash tries to hang in. 4 to 5 is fourth. Catch the fire, threads through late. It's still Tall Dark Stranger. He's standing tall here. Tall Dark Stranger will lead clear of War We Vital. Far outside Captain Kirk late, but it's Tall Dark Stranger. Tall Dark Stranger to win. Were We Vital was second. Catch the fire third. 147-2. Back half 53-1. Off track today. Tall Dark Stranger just 3/5 of a second off the world record. Unbelievable given the conditions here. 5-1-2-7 unofficially race 2. Tall Dark Stranger scores once more. He returns trackside to the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. Nancy Tactor, the treader. Regular pilot Yannick Gingras on board for the win here this afternoon. Tall Dark Stranger, a 3-year-old bank hold by Better's Delight. For the Art Major mare, Precocious Beauty, bred down in Lebanon, Kentucky by Jim Avery. Tall Dark Stranger Owned by the Crawford Farms Racing, Syracuse, New York. Sponsors of the Tattersall's Pace this afternoon. Marvin Katz of Ontario. Caviar Farms, Vienna, Virginia. Howard Taylor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Out of Michelle Crawford trackside there as part of the ownership group of Tall Dark Stranger. He takes the first division of the Crawford Farms Tattersall's Pace. An incredibly sharp score here today. 147-2, back half 53-1, just 3/5 of a second off the world record over this off track. Prices up the second race. The favorite, Tall Dark Stranger, 320, 210, and 210. Second of the one more we model, 280, 220. Third of the two catch the fire, 420. The exacta was $7. $1 trifecta worth $22.20. The early double was $8.20. Back-to-back favorites to kick off the card. And the 20-cent superfecta, $25.22. Official rundown in for the second race. Where we bottle second. Number 2 catch the fire third. 3, 4 to 5 sixth. 4 Money Bad Ale was eighth. Tall Dark Stranger the winner. 6 Seriously Had for ninth. Captain Kirk fourth. 8 the Greek Freak seventh. And number 9 Cattle Wash fifth. Rechecking 2, 3, 6, 8, 1, 9, 4, 7. 5 on the bottom. Tall Dark Stranger 147-2. And he couldn't have possibly been any better here today. And winning the first division of the Tattersalls, Dave Brower is standing by with his trader, Nancy Tactor.
Thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt. Coming to you from the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's Circle. You said it perfectly. He couldn't possibly have been any more impressive today. Tall Dark Stranger just continues to dominate. We've got trainer Nancy Tactor here. Nancy, I'll tell you what, he's just having an incredible year. But he does have to work hard to win some of these races, doesn't he?
I mean, it's actually a really nice group of 3-year-olds this year, so obviously nothing's going to be given to him for free. I think he makes us think that he's working a little bit harder than he actually is, for sure. I think he just does that to keep it a little exciting for us, but he's just super nice colt. I'm actually running out of good things to say about him.
So are we, especially as journalists or whatever. When Yannick Gingras came out of the presentation as well, he goes, wow, what a heck of a horse. And he used a different word, but I can't use that. Tall Dark Stranger, listen, he adds to his endless list of stakes victories today, the North America Cup, the Meadowlands Pace, the Cane, the Bluegrass, the Kentucky Sire Stakes, and now the Tattersalls. He's got at least one more job left, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the saying goes, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown. So that's where we'll go next, and then we'll see what happens after that. But that's the next goal.
Yes, after that, we've got some nice races at the Meadowlands on November 21st. Is there any thought at this point that you might want to try him against older?
I mean, he raced the older horses early, his first start this year, and he was really impressive in there. And I think he would definitely give them a run for their money. We'll have to discuss it once we get to that bridge. We'll cross it.
When the entry sheet came out and you had heard that Chris Ryder was putting Party Girl Hill in against the boys, did you want to face her in your division?
I mean, it wouldn't have really mattered to me. I think they wanted to face us, and I would have faced them if I would have had to. I don't think we would have had a problem with it. She's a super nice filly, and she deserves all the accolades that she gets, but a Tall Dark Stranger is just a different level.
Okay, coming up a little bit later on, you've got Ready for Money in the Futurity. You've got Sorella and Pan Am in the Philly Futurity, one with a good post, one without. What are we looking forward to?
I think it's going to be an interesting race. Obviously, when you have 2 12-horse fields, anything can happen. You know, there's a 7-horse entry in the Futurity, so who knows what's going to happen with that. And my horse has a trailing position, which is not ideal. But, you know, but all 3 of my horses are coming into their race grade, and I look forward to racing them.
That's what we like to hear. Congratulations. Tall Dark Stranger dazzles us again at the Red Mile in 147-2.
The opening quarter, 27-1. Tall Dark Stranger has taken up the top from Catawash. So it is the favorite, Tall Dark Stranger, who shows the way across the backstretch. Catawash is in tight pursuit second. World We Vital, the second choice. He's third, currently 3 lengths off the top. Catch the Fire, still patient at this point for Wilder fourth. He tracks the top trio in front of 4 to 5. Captain Kirk still 6th there with Muddy Bed Hill opting to sit in 7th. Seriously Hanover's underway to the outside. The Greek Freak still last. The pass a half in 54-1. Tall Dark Stranger maintains that lead out of the far turn. It's a perfect trip for Cattle Wash with 3/8 to go. He's still 2nd. Were We Vital? Well, angle wide from a 3rd for Tetrick. Catch the Fires pinned out at the pylons. He's 4th. It's 4-5. Tracks up 2nd over cover 5th, but he's 5 lengths off his stablemate right now. It's Tall Dark Stranger tries to get some separation. He's 2 on top as they race to the top of the stretch and past 3/4, 121-1. They turn for home with the first division of the Tattersalls. Tall Dark Stranger maintains a short lead with War We Vital inching in down the center of the track. Cattle Wash tries to hang in. Fortify is 4th. Catch the Fire threads through late. It's still Tall Dark Stranger. He's standing tall here. Tall Dark Stranger a lead clear of War We Vital. Far outside Captain Kirk late, but it's Tall Dark Stranger. Tall Dark Stranger to win.
Hickory Lane Horse Farm is the proud home of some of the Buckeye State's most popular stallions, like Dan Patch Champion, What the Hill, Breeders' Crown winner, Racing Hill, World Champion Trotter, Uncle Peter, and our recently retired elder statesman, McArdle. Be sure to visit our website, hickorylanefarm.com.
To all our sports caretakers, this one's for you. It's the 2020 Caretaker Cup, sponsored by Leah Chevry and Art Subrod's Fair Island Farm of Versailles, Kentucky. These awards will be presented to the caretakers of the Red Mile Grand Circuit Stakes winners. But we thank all of you whose hard work and dedication brings out the best in our horses. Three-year-old pacing fillies on the track. Second division of the Tattersalls Glen Garnsey Memorial, worth over $112,000. It's sponsored by the Sweet Lou Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farms. Kicks off your early pick 3. What is Alexis's Beach? Brent Pelling trains. Tim Tetrick drives for Melvin Siegel. Number 2 is Magnificent. Linda Toscano trains. Scott Ziron drives the Enviro Stables Limited, South Mountain Stables, and Jeff Gorell's Little E LLC. 3 is New Year. Chris Ryder trains. Dexter Dunn drives for Eric and Lisa Cherry's Leaded Rod Stables and Bottom Line Racing LLC. 4 is Perfect Storm. Bob McIntosh trains for the Bob McIntosh Stables. Dave Boyle, the Martin Stables. Dave Miller. Number 5 is Lady Lou. Tony Galania trains for Brad Grant and Steve Heimbecker with Andy McCarthy. 6 is Peaky Sneaky. Nancy Tactor trains. Got a Jingra board for Howard Taylor, Judith Taylor, the Order by Stable. And the 7 is Sea Dog Lady. Ron Burke trains. Matt Kikali is at the controls for Dale Towle. That's the field for the 3rd race. 2nd division of the Tattersalls Glen Garnsey Memorial. Post time for race 2 is just a few minutes away. Race 3, rather, kicks off your early pick 3.
All right, Gabe Pruitt, a dazzling performance again by TDS Tall Dark Stranger. How did it look from up there in the booth?
It looked like it did to everyone else. That was an incredible, incredible performance. I don't think we've ever seen Tall Dark Stranger any better than he was today. I know he's been incredible throughout his entire career, so that's difficult to say. But someone just tweeted, in fact, given the conditions, that may be the most impressive mile that they have ever seen there. Back half 53-1. Just 3/5 of a second off the world record on a track that we know is not at its best today, with still rain drizzling at the moment. I can't argue with that statement. I mean, he was just so good. You just can't say enough great things about Tall Dark Stranger overall. But today, just in a different orbit in my mind.
Yes, we have a track rated good as it stands right now, and I had a fan ask me as I was returning from the winner's circle. He said, "What's that mile under fast conditions? 46 flat? I mean, who knows? Hopefully, we'll get to see Tall Dark Stranger perform again and a chance to maybe break a world record." On we move to division number 2 of the Tattersalls for the sophomore pacing fillies here. Purse of $112,000. The Glen Garnsey Memorial, sponsored by the Sweet Lou Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farms. And I've got a nice new mask to wear out in the winner's circle, compliments of the Diamond Creek Farms. So thank you very much, Adam and company. Real rock solid bunch of fillies here. Let's start with Rocknificent. She's as iron tough as they come. She battles each and every week in every stakes race. Doesn't matter the size track, doesn't matter any of the conditions here. I think she's the one to catch.
Well, I think that her most impressive feat is her consistency. She has hit the board in all 11 starts this season. She was used hard there, zipping to the top here last week, Dave, from a tough post, but she lived to tell about it. A good, close third-place finish. I was impressed there. Scott Ziron took her over the 6, Peaky Sneaky Rocknificent. Very talented daughter of Captain Treacherous. Again, she is all class, and it's not shocking whatsoever that she is up there as the favorite.
We'll see if we can get her to the winner's circle and her Hall of Fame trainer, Ms. Linda Toscano. Number 3, New Year, goes to the gate for the team behind Party Girl Hill. This is Dexter Dunn and Chris Ryder here, and you want to talk about rounding in the rock-solid, sharp form. I think that sums up New Year. She was great up in Delaware and great again here last week.
Yes, she was. She was used extremely hard in that same mile last week, and I just thought there wasn't a lot separating these top fillies here, Dave, so I thought New Year may offer a little better price than the other two in terms of the win end, and she is the moment. She's 5-2, so again, I don't think there's much separating them, so I'll give New Year a swing here, hopefully as a third choice. I loved her dam, the world champion, dropped the ball, one of my favorites. Of course, Ross Krogan trainee, who went for some of the same connections. She has a race named after a bit later on today, in fact. But New Year, she's very good, the daughter of Some Beach Somewhere. As you said, she's been so sharp of late. I think she has a major chance here today.
Back at the start of the summer stakes season, the Alanya Armada, Tony and company had Lady Lou pretty sharp. She possesses blazing speed. I do see a lot of second-place finishes, though. Can we use her underneath in the gimmick?
Well, she's just 2 for 25, but I just wasn't I didn't think she was at her best here last week, Dave. I actually tried her in that spot. She got away at third, and just didn't really have a whole lot of punch at the top of the stretch, so I don't want to be overly hard on her. We know she's a filly that possesses a high level of speed, but I need to see a little better today from a Lady Lou. Hopefully she is not tailing off there into today's event.
We just saw trainer Nancy Tactor in the winner's circle there with TDS, and she's got a good shot to make it back-to-back here with Peaky Sneaky. To me, the only question is the post. We saw improved early speed last time, and boy, was she also good in both the elim and final of the Jugette.
She was indeed, and a great drive by Scott Zerot here last week. That was complete larceny. In fact, I'm not sure how he got away with the half 56 seconds there, but he did, and he slammed the door. That party was well over at that point. 53 and 1 home there for Peaky Sneaky. She was just a razor-sharp daughter, better's delight. Great form. You can't knock her whatsoever, and she is getting that solid sport up there at 2-1. Very good filly.
Again, last year's one division was captured by Warrawee U Butte in a spectacular 148-3. We'll see what these fillies have in store for us in this division of the Tattersalls. It's the Glen Garnsey Memorial, brought to you by the Sweet Loose Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farm.
Dream Foundation starting game of again 2 position. It's post time for this afternoon's third race. Starter calls. Second division of the Glen Garnsey Memorial. We're honored each and every fall here to host the Glen Garnsey Memorial. Glenn, of course, former private trader for Castleton Farm. Reopened his public stable in 1977. And immediately had the 1978 Horse of the Year, Abercrombie. Fan had over a few years later, member of the Hardest Racing Hall of Fame. Glen Garnsey, Tattersalls, second division, sponsored by the Sweet Loose Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farms. 7 3-year-old pacing fillies. They are lined up at on gain. And they are off. There goes Perfect Storm out sharply from the center of the track. Magnificent. Left the gate with New Year to her outside. Peaky Sneaky is also on the move there into the opening turn. It's Peaky Sneaky and Jingra who now move up and around the long shot Perfect Storm. New Year still floating wide at the third spot. Magnificent is out mid-pack in fourth in front of Alexis's Beach. Lady Lou come out racing in sixth, and at the back, that Sea Dog Lady as they move around the opening turn. New Year straight to the top here, the quarter 27 and 1. She will take over down from Peaky Sneaky. Jinga released, and she is second. Perfect Storm. Traxia top pair third. Magnificent continues to hold down the fourth spot. She's currently 5 lengths off the lead. Alexis's Beach races from a fifth in front of Lady Lou. And nothing yet from the long shot, Sea Dog Lady. No change in position. They're in straight alignment across the backstretch in pursuit of New Year. And New Year will dial up the opening half in 54 and 3, 27 and 2 in the second quarter. So a solid tempo here as New Year carries that speed onto the far turn. Peaky Sneaky just off the leader from a second with 3/8 to pace. Perfect Storm is pinned out in a third with Rocknificent now fatting wide from a fourth. They race midway around the turn. New Year still there. Peaky Sneaky up and out of the pocket. Rocknificent well spotted up now tracking second over cover as Perfect Storm looks to tighten in down at the inside. Lady Lou moves into a fifth. They race to the top of the stretch and past 3/4, 122 and 1. And Peaky Sneaky is now taken back over from New Year. Rocknificent inching in down the center in third. Perfect Storm hangs in fourth, but it's all Peaky Sneaky here. She is opening up. She's opened up to a 5-length lead. Peaky Sneaky pounced, and she is spreaded well clear. Peaky Sneaky in the second division of the Tattersaws. Perfect Storm was up the inside to grab second from Rocknificent. New Year was fourth and 148. Six, 4, 2, 3 on the board at officially race 3. Six, 4, 2, 3 fans. Reminder, if you're on track with us today, still some open tables over in the clubhouse. If you'd like to go over and enjoy a very nice lunch, a great view of the races. Indoors here. Not a bad place to set up shop. Chef Jeff and his crew over in the Red Mile Clubhouse. We did have some late cancellations, so if you tried earlier maybe to get a table, well, we do have some of those available, so go over and check it out. Tables available in the clubhouse. Peaky Sneaky returns trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. Another sharp score for Peaky Sneaky. Back-to-back wins on the card for the combination of trader Nancy Tactor and driver Yadak Jingra. Peaky Sneaky's owned by Howard Taylor, Judith Taylor, Pennsylvania, and the order by Stable of Sweden. Peaky Sneaky, a 3-year-old daughter of Better's Delight from the Rock and Roll Hanover World of Rock. She was bred by the White Birch Farm, New Jersey. Back-to-back Grand Circuit Stakes victories in Lexington for Peaky Sneaky. It's her 5th overall of the season and 7th career win. Peaky Sneaky, a career best clocking over the off-track this afternoon, 148 flat. Peaky Sneaky takes the second division of the Tattersaws Glengarns Memorial. Price is up for the third race. Peaky Sneaky takes the second division of the Tattersaw, sponsored by the Sweet Lou Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farms. Adam Bowden was trackside there for the trophy presentation. Peaky Sneaky returns $4.80, $3 $2.20. Second to the 4 Perfect Storm, $9 $4.20. 2 Magnificent third, $2.20. Exacta was $67.80. The $1 trifecta worth $112.20. 20-cent superfecta, $41.06. Official rundown in for the third. Alexis's Beach 7th. Number 2, Magnificent 3rd. 3, New Year 4th. Number 4, Perfect Storm 2nd. 5, Lady Lou 5th. Peaky Sneaky the race winner, and Sea Dog Lady was 6th. Rechecking at 7-3-4, 2-5-1 with 6 on the bottom. Peaky is Sneaky. 148 flat. Dave Brower standing by in the winner's circle, the Diamond Creek Farm winner's circle, with the man who's enjoyed a nice week out at the Basic Tipton Sales Pavilion. He's standing by with Steve Stewart.
You could say that again, Gabe. We are with Mr. Steve Stewart, along with his wife. They operate Hunterton Farm, and we need to talk a little Lexington selected sale. All things considered, Steve, I would say it was extremely successful under the conditions. How did you feel about it?
Very much so. I felt like a lot of people, I made the statement that if anybody complained, you had to remind them that 3 months ago we were worried whether we would even have a sale. But you really have to take your hat off to Randy and David for doing such a great job and making sure that it went off very successful.
And I think we should take our hat off to the consigners as well. You and Cindy and everybody else out there. It's not easy to show horses under these conditions, but it all got done, right?
Yeah, I think it pretty much shows the resilience of horse people. I think that we'll figure out a way to make it work, and I think everybody did.
The sales topper came from your consignment. Tell us about that nice-looking filly, Cadena Wallner, out of Mission Brief.
She was pretty much born special. They had written about it or whatever, where I told David and Randy come out in the spring of the year to look at yearlings for that particular year. So last year when they came, I grabbed David and I said, let's go. I want to go show you the sale topper for next year. And he kind of chuckled a little bit or whatever. It's kind of being a little presumptuous or whatever. But she was always special. Most people felt like, I think of a lot of our competition, if they owned her, she would not have been in the sale.
Okay. Other Hunterton highlights that we need to talk about?
Well, you know, I mean, yes, it's plenty to talk about, I guess. We sold Tall Dog Stranger, and then the filly getting ready to race against the boys. We raised her for Tom Hill, and she obviously it's wonderful when someone wants to take the chance and go against the boys and whatever. But I think she's pretty much worthy of the effort that she's going to put in here in the next race.
We are looking forward to that effort. Now, listen, you and Cindy had an amazing and magical Saturday night at Woodbine at Mohawk Park a couple of weeks ago. You bred not only the Metro winner that night, but the winner of the inaugural Mohawk Million, too. You had to be on cloud 9.
Yeah, it was really amazing. You know, Exploit won at 35-1, I think, and then Venerate has just gotten better and better. I guess he was sick. Watching the Houghton at the Meadowlands or whatever, he's first up. Looks like he's just going to go right by him, and then he didn't. And then Julie said he was sick that day, and then him being a Kentucky eligible horse, I think really helps him and probably all the Kentucky breds where they get to come here and race. And I think it braved him up and pretty much taught him how to go fast, because he won the I would say that not only it was special, that whole week was very special for us, because we were able to they had 8 championship races, and 5 of the 8 had come from us.
What?
So that was special. And then they load him on a truck. Only standardbreds can you load him on a truck 2 days later, haul him to so he won on Sunday afternoon. They put him on a truck on Tuesday, haul him into another country, race 6 days later for $1 million and win that also. So yeah, Venerate, it was very painful the other day. As the breeder, I was very painful. I can't imagine Penske's and the Millers, how they must have felt in the world record mile, where he ranged up on the outside and unfortunately made a break right at the top of the stretch 2 days ago.
It certainly would have been quite a battle. Last question here. It's been a long week out at Fasig-Tipton. Can you get some rest now?
No. Everybody, it's funny, I'll get a text from people and they say, I hope you're relaxing. And we, unfortunately for us and fortunate for the owners that buy the horses, we take all the farms, Kentucky and all of us take the yearlings back to the farm. So we sold 100 yearlings, but there's probably another 100 back at the farm that we're not familiar with or whatever that are waiting for the trainers to pick them up.
All right.
So we've got to deal with them.
So the work goes on.
The work goes on, and then we got to go to we get to go to Harrisburg, or I guess
Timonium.
Timonium. So we're looking forward to that.
All right. Listen, thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us. Congratulations on what has been a very successful week, and thanks for your sponsorships here too at the Red Mile. We appreciate that.
It's we enjoy helping out.
Harness racing comes alive at the Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame in Goshen, New York. Visit our world-class museum and see the local connections to Messenger and Hambletonian. Come see our newest exhibit, the Greyhound Gallery. Stroll through our beautiful facility and ride our 3D simulator. Hold your next event or party in Houghton Hall, a popular horse-oriented destination. Check out Harness Racing's Hall of Fame, less than a 1-hour drive from Yonkers or the Meadowlands in Goshen, New York. The Harness Racing Museum and Hall of Fame.
Southwind Farms is the premier breeding facility in New Jersey and is home to top trotting sire Muscle Hill. Southwind also stands the world champion Walner and 2018 Breeders' Crown champion Tactical Landing. Southwind also has a beautiful standardbred nursery in upstate New York, where the rolling hills provide an ideal setting for foals to grow up strong and healthy for the lucrative New York Sire Stakes program.
Three-year-old Pacers stepping onto the track. Second division of the Crawford Farms Tattersall's Pace, sponsored by Alabama Michelle Crawford, worth over $239,000. The What is Party Girl Hill. Chris Ryder trains. Dexter Dunn drives for Tom Hill. Number 2 is No Losing. Nancy Tactor trains for the Three Brothers Stables, Rojan Stables, and the Caviar Farms. Yadak Jingram. 3 Captain Midnight. Tony Alanya trains. Andy McCarthy up for Marvin Katz. Ken Jacobs. Brad Grant and Captain Midnight Racing. Number 4 is Roll with JR. Jeff Cutliford trains. He co-owns with Tom Pollock's Pollock Racing LLC. Andy Miller. 5 is Elver Hanover. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Bridget Jablonski. Jason Melillo. Jerry and Teresa Silva. Perdell Libby. Chris Page. Save Me a Dance. That's a 6. Andrew Harris trains for Bob Key with Todd McCarthy. 7 Later Dudes. Nancy Tactor trains for Country Club Acres. Joe Spronko, the Acadia Farms. JCK2 Properties. Brett Miller. 8 See You at the Beach. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Weaver Brushibby. Perdell Libby in the Kitefield Stable. Matt Kakali drives. At the Dottis Sand Between My Toes. Jim Campbell trains for the Fashion Farms LLC with Scott Zeron in the sulky. That's your field for the 4th race. No changes, race 4.
After the dominating performance by Peaky Sneaky in the filly division of the Tattersalls, we roll to race number 4 on a Sunday afternoon here in downtown Lexington, Kentucky at the historic Red Mile here. This is the Tattersalls for the Glamour Boys, the 3-year-old pacing colts, and 1 filly, sponsored by Michelle and Albert Crawford. $239,000 on the line, Gabe Pruitt. Let's begin our discussion with Party Girl Hill. We just heard from Steve Stewart out there in the winner's circle that he raised this filly for Tom Hill, and she's gone through a couple of changes. Thank God she came back from that little bit of an injury there that took away her 2-year-old season, but boy, has she been special so far as a sophomore.
Yeah, just not enough good things you can say about Party Girl Hill. She was so sharp here last week at a win. That was off those back-to-back heats there in Delaware in the Jugette. She's just a special filly, and I'd like to see the connection stepping up here, giving her a chance against the boys. Party Girl Hill, I guess she deserves that shot, and she has not done anything wrong after the last couple of miles we've seen over this track. I am very excited to see Party Girl Hill right now.
She will try to become just the second female in the last 30 years to beat the boys in a more than $100,000 race. See You at Peelers was the last to do that when she won the Art Rooney back in 2011. I asked you this on the pregame show, though. Is there any worry about the rail being a tricky post for her in this spot?
Not so much. I think she's just so supremely talented that it doesn't make much of a difference. I think she's just maybe at a different level. We'll see. It's never an easy thing, as you just said. I mean, that speaks for itself, that stat you just gave. CU Peelers was a special filly as well. But Party Girl Hill, I just do not think it matters. I think at some point she will take over control here. She is a prohibitive favorite, and I think that she's just better than the group she faces today.
Trainer Nancy Tactor is going to try to make it the hat trick, the natural hat trick, if No Losing can upset the apple cart. And I'll tell you what about this horse. We just saw him on the screen with all that crazy headgear, the Shady Daisy type shadow roll. He is the most improved Glamour Boy sophomore of the year, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. I mean, he has really had a strong sophomore campaign, 6 of 10. He's hit the board in all 10. How about the Tactor Barn? They came to fire at all cylinders here today. Back-to-back wins, of course. Tall Dark Stranger, very impressive. Peaky Sneaky, maybe the best we've ever seen her as well. So the Barn is red hot. We've got Yadik Jingra back at the bike here again today, as Dexter, of course, opted for his regular drive there with the filly. But No Losing, you can't overlook him. He has been very, very good. 4 or 3 consecutive stakes wins here into today's action. He is the second choice, deserving second choice at that, Dave, 4-1.
You've got a lot of love for number 3, Captain Midnight, and I don't blame you. He put on a vicious speed show in his elimination of the Little Brown Jug, and he bounced back here in the Bluegrass last week with that brush to the front through quick fractions. Just no match for Warwi Vital late.
Well, that was the key. Warwi Vital actually took a bit of a shuffle and slipped through. And then you may even want to add some extra credit down in the column of Captain Midnight, because we saw Warwi Vital. I know all of the accolades deservingly so have got a Tall Dark Stranger, but Warwi Vital went a huge mile at a huge trip there in race 2 as well. So I don't think there's any shame in Captain Midnight finishing behind that colt, particularly on what we saw right there. So I expect him to be sharp here again today as well.
One horse that we know loves this track, that's the gelding number 5, Elver Hanover. He put on some speed display last year with a record performance here. Just okay, though, last week in his division of the Bluegrass.
Yeah, that's how I would go with it as well. He was just okay. He's been a bit of a fringe player on the national stakes scene this season. But, hey, Dave, he still had a heck of a sophomore campaign. He's earned nearly $200,000. Speaks a lot of the strength of that program in Ohio as well. He's had a tough rival to chase around up there as well, in Ocean Rock. But Elver Hanover still got a very good resume. And as you mentioned, he has got a huge heat here, the best, with that freshman win in 48 and 3. Elver Hanover, maybe a fringe player underneath here in terms of exotics today.
One more to talk about. It's the bad post. It's number 9, Sand Between My Toes for Jules Siegel's Fashion Farms and Jim Campbell. Epic tries in both the elimination and the final of the Little Brown Jug. So maybe he was just a little bit short here last week.
Well, that was a concern. You know, we talked about that with some of those horses coming off the 2 heats. Sand Between My Toes not quite as sharp maybe as the favorite here last week, but I think Scott's hands are going to be forced here from that tough post. He's going to have to leave, Dave, and get some sort of position there. There's the inside trio all pretty tough there, so you'd think Sand Between My Toes would try and get there and track. We'll see if he can fire home a bit better this afternoon.
I imagine that will be part of the game plan. Keep in mind, Dexter Dunn drove both winners of the Tattersalls last year, Dance and Lou and Better's Wish. We'll see if he can keep that streak rolling. The Tattersalls, sponsored by the Crawford Farms, for $239,000 up next.
The Dream Foundation starting gate, making its way into position. It's post time for this afternoon's fourth race. Starter call. Second division of the Crawford Farms, 3-year-old open pace, Tattersaw, sponsored by Alda Michelle Crawford. Purse of over $239,000, a field of 9. They are on gate. And they're off and pacing. Sand between my toes, left up from the far outside. The filly Party Girl Hill moves on through quickly down at the inside with no losing. Out next to it is no losing. We'll move on to the point now for Jingra, past Party Girl Hill. Sand between my toes. Found a good early spot in front of Captain Midnight, who's out giving chase in fourth. Roll with JR's next in line fifth in front of Elver ahead of her. Save Me a Dance is next. Later Dudes tracks at eighth in front of See You at the Beach. The quarter 27 seconds, and it's no losing. Riding a 3-race win streak, and he carries that lead onto the back stretch. The favorite Party Girl Hill now up and on the move for Dunn. So it is the filly Party Girl Hill. We'll move on past it, no losing. Sand between my toes, tightens it at the third spot. Captain Midnight races from fourth. Is no losing, stretches out Party Girl Hill just a touch there as they move up the back stretch. Party Girl Hill finally clears past the half, 53-4, 26-4 in the second quarter as Party Girl Hill was used a bit to take up the lead from no losing. Sand between my toes continues to track third, still patient as Captain Midnight was under a tight rein there. He'll swing to the outside fourth. Roll with JR saving ground in fifth as Elver ahead of her. Comes underway to the outside of sixth in front of Save Me a Dance. A race around the turn. Party Girl Hill maintains a 2-link lead from no losing. Captain Midnight works up third past Sand between my toes. Are off 3/4 in 1:21, and Party Girl Hill starts to get some separation. She sprinted 3 lengths clear. No losing is driven out there from the second spot. Captain Midnight rallies up at the far outside third. Deep stretch. Party Girl Hill still there with no losing inching in. Captain Midnight up at the far outside. They come down to the finish. Party Girl Hill making a baker's dozen. 13 in a row. She's flawless. Party Girl Hill 147-2. In the second division of the Tattersaws. Cutters have posted to 1. Party Girl Hill at officially first. Place photo goes to the 3. Captain Midnight over the 2, no losing. 6 Samia Dance fourth. It's 1-3-2-6 at officially race 4. Party Girl Hill remains perfect. 13 in a row. To begin her career, just 2/5 of a second off the world record this afternoon over the off track, 147.2. She returns trackside now for the Diamond Creek Farm. Winner's presentation. Chris Ryder, the trader, Dexter Dunn. In the blank once more for owner Tom Hill. The United Kingdom, the owner and breeder of Party Girl Hill. Out of Michelle Crawford trackside there to present the trophy to the winning connections of the 1 Party Girl Hill, who takes the second division of the Crawford Farms Tattersall's Open Pace. Party Girl Hill, a 3-year-old daughter of Captain Treacherous from the Gear to Gear Mare. Look cheap. 13 in a row. 147.2 lifetime best effort over the off track for Party Girl Hill. Dave Brower will be standing by with winner's circle reaction momentarily from the connections of the undefeated filly, Party Girl Hill, who knocks off the boys here this afternoon. Your prices are up for the 4th race. Party Girl Hill, 280, 210, and 210. Second of the 3, Captain Midnight, 340, 220. And third of the 2, no losing, 220. Exacta, $6.80. The $1 trifecta, $7.60. 20-cent superfecta, $13.42. Official run-ins in for the 4th race. Party Girl Hill, the race winner. Just 2/5 of a second off the world record today over this off-track. Number 2, no losing third. Number 3, Captain Midnight second. 4 roll with JR was 8th. Elver Hanover 5th. Save Me a Dance 4th. The 7 Later Dude 7th. 8 See You at the Beach 9th. And number 9, Sand Between My Toes was 6th. Rechecking 132, 854, 79, and 6 on the bottom. Party Girl Hill still perfect. And for more on the perfect filly here, let's sit it downstairs once more. Dave Brower standing by with winning trader Chris Ryder.
Thanks very much, Gabe Pruitt. In the Diamond Creek Farm winner circle, we've got trainer Chris Ryder, and he is pointing at the teletimer as Party Girl Hill has done it. She has defeated the boys to remain unbeaten at 13 for 13. Chris, are you relieved or exhilarated?
I'm going to say relieved. Exhilarated, yes, but that'll come a little later. Right now, I'm unbelievably relieved.
Unbelievable performance by her today. Now, there was some speculation and some chit-chat that you may have opted for this move to try the boys in the Little Brown Jug. You decided not to do it on that particular afternoon. Why today?
Well, first of all, there was never any thought on our part to go in the jug against the boys, being on a half. Today was the day because, like I've said before, it was a mile. We didn't have much to lose. Today was a perfect opportunity. Now we can go against the fillies in the Breeders' Crown. Just stay with the fillies. And it was the last chance we had, and we thought she could do it. And she is what she is. She just showed us that she's just a class of her own, and it's just an honor to be able to.
You have trained some great pacing fillies in the past. I don't want to make comparisons, but can we safely say that Party Girl Hill might be the best ever?
Yeah, I would have to say that. Yeah, she's just done so much, and she started out as a maiden 4 months ago, and it's just unbelievable what she's doing.
Okay. after the Breeders' Crown, provided everything goes well, this win makes her eligible for that TVG series. Would you think about trying this again at that time?
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that.
That's my job.
Well, I don't know if that's good news or that. Well, that's great news. No, I hadn't thought about it, but you caught me on the back foot.
Well, that's okay. You've got plenty of time to make that decision. It's not till November 21st. How about some special words for owner Tom Hill back in the UK? Unfortunately, he can't be here with us.
Yes. Yeah, real shame Mr. Hill's not here today and the whole family, but he's having a buzz. I've already spoke to him after she crossed the wire, and his quote is that she is in a world of her own. She's a class of her own. And I don't know if we'll ever meet Tall Dark Stranger now, because he's going to go to
you never know.
Shed.
We'll see what happens there in November after the Breeders' Crown.
Right.
I'm sure Nancy wants to take on you, and you want to take on Nancy.
Well, it's nothing. It's really something I don't want to comment at the moment. That's, that's another sphere.
Last question. Make your case for Party Girl Hill to be the horse of the year.
Well, I got to give full credit to Tall Dark Stranger. He raced phenomenal today, and my filly did the same thing, same time, and Party Girl Hill can't do any more than she's done. She's unbeaten. She started out as a maiden, had no experience coming into the year, and it's just a phenomenon.
Congratulations, sir. Party Girl Hill remains unbeaten, 13 for 13. She beats the boys today in the Tattersalls.
Move on past it, no losing. Sand between my toes tightens it at the third spot. Captain Midnight races from a fourth as no losing stretches out Party Girl Hill just a touch there as they move up the back stretch. Party Girl Hill finally clears past the half, 53-4, 26-4 in the second quarter as Party Girl Hill was used a bit to take up the lead from no losing. Sand between my toes continues to track third, still patient as Captain Midnight was under a tight rein there. He'll swing to the outside fourth. Roll with JR Saving Ground in fifth as Alvar Hediver comes underway to the outside of sixth in front of Save Me a Dance. A race around the turn. Party Girl Hill maintains a two-link lead from no losing. Captain Midnight works up third past Sand between my toes. Are off three quarters in 1:21, and Party Girl Hill starts to get some separation. She sprinted 3 lengths clear. No losing is driven out there from the second spot. Captain Midnight rallies up at the far outside third. Deep stretch. Party Girl Hill still there with no losing inching in. Captain Midnight up at the far outside. They come down to the finish. Party Girl Hill making a baker's dozen. 13 in a row. She's flawless.
Bar hopping son of Muscle Hill is making serious waves with his first crop of 2022-year-olds. Over one half of his foals have raced as of July 15th, and one half of those are winners, led by stakes winners In Range.
And it's In Range in front.
And Pub Crawl.
It's Pub Crawl in one.
A majestic-looking son of the greatest trotting stallion ever, who has already proven his siring ability. Bar hopping is undoubtedly the next generation, standing at Hanover Shoe Farms.
Lindwood Farm, a premier standard-bred breeding and stallion facility located in scenic western Pennsylvania, just a short drive from the Meadows Racetrack. Established in 1970 by Ann and Logan Dickerson, our facility offers stallion, mare, and foaling services, along with the occasional turnout and rehabilitation. If you're looking to participate in the Pennsylvania Breeders Program, contact us today. Lindwood Farm, setting the standard.
Diamond Creek Farm presents Sweet Lou, the Great White Blaze. With star power and charisma to spare, fans far and wide. Success at the highest levels, and that unique look that just says greatness.
Oh, Sweet Lou, how sweet it is! Sweet Lou rocks!
And Sweet Lou wins the TVG free-for-all final.
Sweet Lou, the Great White Blaze, now standing at Diamond Creek Farm.
Captain Treacherous, North America's dominant pacing stallion. Captain fillies were 1, 2, 3 in the 2019 two-year-old Breeders' Crown,
Reflect with me, 150 and 3.
as well as the 2020 Mistletoe Chalet.
Reflect with me, then Lion Sentinel, then Rocknificent, 149.
The captain sired half of the 2020 Meadowlands pace starters, including Allywag Hanover,
Allywag Hanover again.
standing at Hanover Shoe Farms.